Hello, this is Hannah Jorgensen, Diamond with Valentus, and I'm very honored and privileged today to have Dr. Joseph Ahrens with me, and we're going to have a little discussion about Emulin. And I know you're looking forward to this, so let's get started, Dr. Ahrens.
Okay, good to be here.
Great to have you, thank you. Number one, what exactly is Emulin?
Well, that's a really good question. Let's start with that one. Emulin is a set of three compounds, natural compounds that occur in plants. They're very much like a vitamin. We feel that we have actually discovered a new vitamin. It's a vitamin-like compound, and they really are essential for good sugar metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism, as well as to control inflammation. We have found out that without these compounds, your body just cannot manage its inflammatory system, and your carbohydrate metabolism, your sugar metabolism is just out of control.
Excellent. So I understand that Emulin is all natural. Is that correct?
Yes, it's completely natural. Unlike a lot of products, we do not synthesize these. We get them from plants to begin with, plant compound. We purify them. And then we had a choice of using the synthetic version or not, but these are all natural ingredients. So these are ingredients that you consume every day inside your food, inside plants, vegetables, fruits, but you just cannot get enough of them, and you need them because they really are essential for a healthy life.
Excellent. So tell us, Dr. Ahrens, how did your team discover Emulin?
Well, we started out 2001, 2002, so that's like 15, 17 years ago. I was director of research at the Florida Department of Citrus, and they had assigned me to do something to increase citrus sales, particularly grapefruit sales. So one day a guy comes in my office, his name was Daryl Thompson, and he said, I'm really interested in grapefruit sales. Every time we hear that term grapefruit diet, whether that's true or not, sales increase. So we got together and said, why don't we then put a study together and see if we can really prove if grapefruit does indeed cause weight loss, not through some silly diet like drink black coffee and eat a grapefruit a day, but is there something in grapefruit that really does cause weight loss? So we had this study done at the Scripps Institute in California. Daryl Thompson designed the study, and lo and behold, yes, after 3 months, these people who were obese, they had metabolic syndrome, very high blood sugar, they lost weight and their blood sugar dropped, and also their insulin levels got managed. So there was indeed something real, something physiological going on inside their bodies. Well, we wanted to find out what it was. Basically, I'm a scientist and I'm curious about everything. Daryl Thompson is too. And so we said, let's find out what it was. The Department of Citrus said, no, we have all the information we need. And so we did it on our own. So I resigned the department. Daryl Thompson and I made the company that you've heard of, our company that's working with Valentus, ATM Metabolics. And over the next 7 years, we put our resources together, and we did indeed find out what was in grapefruit that caused this weight loss. What we found out was it's not just grapefruit. Every plant and vegetable, every food that has some sugar load in it, whether it's sugared cane, apples, oranges, pineapples, mangoes, carrots, they all have these compounds. And we further found out that they actually are very like vitamins. They are there to help you metabolize, to digest sugars. So by having these compounds in your diet along with sugar, you process the sugar perfectly, just how you were meant to. So you don't have these big high sugar spikes or insulin spike. You don't become obese. The sugar ends up going where it should go, and it stays out of places that it shouldn't go, like in fat. So you burn the sugar up. And we further found out that this is also a regulator of inflammation. So let me repeat that. It's really important. Emulin is a vitamin-like compound that is essential to regulate your sugar metabolism. Without it, you're going to have trouble. Some people might even get diabetes, obesity. Other people will have inflammatory diseases, arthritis, psoriasis. With these compounds, your body behaves as it should normally.
Excellent. So tell us exactly how Emulin works.
Well, there are 3 compounds in there. We looked at about 10,000 compounds in plants that were in this family. And using some supercomputers, we determined which ones would best work together to have maximum effect. And we put them in there, the amounts and the ratios, to get the maximum effect. And what happens is one of these compounds will inhibit the starch in your food, you know, like from potatoes and rice. It inhibits that turning into simple sugars like glucose and fructose. And therefore, you cannot absorb as much. That's the first thing, right in your mouth it happens. Then secondly, in your gut, you have little doorways in there, in your stomach and your intestines. They're called glucose transporters. And it inhibits those transporters. It does not close them all the way, but it inhibits them, slows them down, so they're just open a little bit. And so the sugar doesn't rush right in there and cause all those problems. It just goes in nice and smoothly. And then in your muscle and brain tissue, those little doorways are there, glucose transporters, and it helps them open more so you can receive that sugar into your brain and your muscles. You know, we talk bad about glucose, like, you know, high blood sugar, but glucose is essential for your brain health. Your brain lives only on glucose, so we open those up and they enter your brain. We also found out that it increases insulin sensitivity in the presence of insulin. It makes those doorways open better. And it also helps people that have like type 1 diabetes. It helps them produce their own insulin right out of their own pancreas. It stimulates the beta cells to produce insulin. Now, not only that, here's a nice one for people that are concerned about weight loss. It helps glucose leak out of fat tissue, actually leak back out, enter into your bloodstream, and then it can be used and burn up by your muscle and your brain. Now, that's all on the carbohydrate management side. Its further attribute is that it regulates your inflammatory response. So you get a little bee sting or a cut or a splinter, something like that, or a poison in your body turns on an inflammatory pathway because it's there to get rid of that insult, to get rid of that damage. And the inflammatory response is the first responders, if you will. They come out there, they see what's going on, they start repairing the cells, they start eating up, causing other cells to eat up the splinter, the bee sting, or whatever, the poison that's in there. But without a regulator, this is like a runaway freight train. And it goes on and on and on. And eventually, your body actually starts attacking itself. Then you get things like IBS, inflammatory bowel disease, psoriasis, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, hay fever. And we found out this is why people are suffering so much from these diseases, is that their inflammatory system is not regulated. So that's how Emulin works. It works on these individual parts of carbohydrate metabolism in your mouth, in your mouth, in your stomach. It slows the doorways down. In your muscle, it opens the doorways, and it also manages inflammation. That probably is even the more important attribute.
Yes. So basically, I think you've answered my next question. What is Emulin doing in the body?
Yes, it's actually very well known. We don't have just gross extracts of plants in this product. A lot of supplements on the market, they're just coffee extract or green bean extract. And no, we know the exact molecules that we are pulling out of these plants, from the grapes and onions, for instance, the exact molecule. We know exactly what they're doing at what site, the metabolic chemical site in your body, the regulatory spots. And they are doing every one of those spots. And we're not guessing here.
Excellent. So now this is probably a silly question, but why do we need Emulin?
Well, you know, if you've listened to my story, you might believe me. It's because it's just like a vitamin. Everybody needs it. You don't need it if you're sick. Just if you're sick. Of course you need it if you're sick. Everyone needs it. You just think you're well because you do not have enough of this supplement in your diet right now. In a perfect world, it would be there in our diets. But through agricultural breeding and the way we raise the foods to get bigger and bigger and sweeter, we've left these out. There's hardly no more left in these black, dark grapes. And there's hardly none of this stuff left in these onions anymore, and apple, everything that's good to eat. They're just not there anymore. We didn't know they were there to begin with. We just made this discovery, you know, in 2007, finally figured out what it was. And so they went by the wayside. In addition to that, all processed foods don't have it. So there is some in raw sugarcane sugar. There's some in there. Not enough, but there's some. In the processed sugar, there's none at all. And you'd have to eat like 20 pounds of grapes just to get enough of this in your body. So this is why it's truly a supplement that everybody needs. So you think you're healthy? You're not. If you take some of this Emulin in just a few days, you'll think, wow, I feel like I just woke up. That's because that fog has lifted. You don't have that high sugar running around in your body, and you don't have that inflammation going on in your brain. You'll feel much better. If you happen to get a broken bone or a sprain, you'll heal in half the time. And that's where your body should be. Mm-hmm. We're taking all this long time to heal because our inflammatory system is messed up. And so everybody, even if you're healthy, and if you happen to have some disorder, diabetes or something, you'll find out after taking this that that could probably go away. It's not that we have healed any disease. We do not heal diseases. What we've done is support your immune system by giving it something it really needs. Doesn't just help it, you need it. And then your body heals itself. And that's what's amazing. Your body is really wonderful. If you're a baby, you need it. You're growing, you're building bones, you're developing your metabolism. It should be in food. So as soon as you're old enough to have solid food, you need to have some Emulin. And then as, of course, middle-aged, and you think about nursing mothers, everyone. We like to say, you know, from womb to tomb, everyone needs Emulin.
Excellent. Well, that's certainly a lot of people.
Everybody.
So how much Emulin should one take?
Well, we've built the dose based on average human weights. You know, it's gone up over the years. And right now, at the current bottling size and the current bottling tablets, capsules, we think you ought to take 750 milligrams a day. That's about 2 capsules. I personally just take 2 in the morning. But if you want to take 1 in the morning and 1 in the night, that's just fine, or 2 in the night. Because after a couple of days, you'll get it built up in your body and you'll have a level in there, just like you have a level of vitamin D and a level of vitamin C. You have a level of Emulin in there. And so it won't particularly matter at the exact time that you take it. So you take 2. But if you're suffering some malady, if you happen to have a broken bone or a cut, or if you've got diabetes or you're overweight, then I would take 4 or 6, depending on if you're a large man. I'd take 6 if we're dealing with some issue like some arthritis on your knee you're trying to get rid of. And then once that gets under control, go back to the 2 capsules a day for maintenance.
Excellent. Oh, that's excellent. So it's safe for everyone then?
Oh yes, totally safe. These come from food sources. So, but even if you are allergic to some food, this is just that specific molecule. I mean, for instance, this is grapes. You know, normally you can't give grapes to a dog, but you can give Emulin to a dog because it doesn't have those compounds in it that dogs are allergic to. We've not found anyone so far that has been allergic. We're talking about tens of thousands of people. Also, the scientific literature says that there's no reaction to any of these products. You can't take too much. If you do, you'll eliminate it through the urine or through the skin. It is safe for everyone.
Excellent. Well, you've answered all of my questions that I have. So is there anything else that you'd like to add about Emulin?
Think about Emulin as a vitamin. It's something that everyone needs, and you just cannot get enough from your normal diet. No matter who you are, take Emulin. You will see results.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahrens. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.